20 Strategic Planning Director Interview Questions and Answers. It is crucial to be fully prepared before going into a job interview. In this article, we will look at the top 20 interview questions and answers that can be used when interviewing for a Strategic Planning Director position. 1. Why are you interested in this role? Tip 1. Show your interest in the field. Tip 2. Be specific by highlighting the important skills you can deliver. Sample answer: I have gone through similar companies that didn't have anyone in the planning department, and most of their decisions were as vague as a bow shot in the dark. Working at these companies made me realize how important planning is. I started looking for a market value for this role. I found out that many companies lack proper planning in their daily systematic processes. I became interested in this field because I believe that I am good at managing people and seeing things from far. I took the necessary steps to be ready for this position and successfully served many companies with my expertise. 2. What are the roles of a Strategic Planning Director? Tip 1. Show that you have a clear understanding of the role. Tip 2. Mention your relevant job skills. Sample answer: a Strategic Planning Director oversees and directs an organization for its strategic and long-range goal planning. I see that he is also responsible for overseeing the reviews, communicating results with top management, and developing such strategies based on the organizational reviews. The director analyzes and evaluates the internal business plans that include market analysis, financial forecasting, competitive intelligence analysis, and looking at feasibility analysis. 3. What are the qualities that a Strategic Planning Director should possess to be effective? Tip 1. Be specific about the main qualities that a director should have. Tip 2. Show your knowledge of the duties this role will require. Sample answer: a Strategic Planning Director should have the credibility that he can work at all company levels. You must have a wide knowledge base for the experience of managing different areas of the organization. A Strategic Planning Director must have a formal business qualification such as an MBA, along with experience in management. 4. What major challenges did you face during your last role? How did you handle it? Tip 1. The interviewer wants to know about your problem-solving skills. Tip 2. Describe how challenges help improve management skills. Sample answer: of all the challenges I faced as a Strategic Planning Director, some of them really challenged my skills. I handled the majority of my job roles very efficiently, but having a weak strategy, a workforce with ineffective training, or a lack of resources, I felt challenged to an edge. I had to be extra vigilant to bring the best out of my team. I managed it by being proactive and keeping a positive outlook on my team and their proper training. I reformed to any lack of communication in my team and made sure they were aware of my new strategies. 5. Describe your daily routine as a Strategic Planning Director. Tip 1. Describe a productive day at your previous job. Tip 2. Don't delve into deep problems, keep it general yet effective to explain your situation. Sample answer: I started by outlining the to-do lists for the day and asking what needed to be done to make it a productive one. I had to attend a few meetings to make sure the communication link was established and strong across the organization. I spent time catching up with the industry perspectives and making sure the day was going as planned. I focused on the site redesign for the organization when needed. I also held team meetings to make sure everything was going fine, and we were all equally inspired to keep going strong. 6. Briefly describe your experience as a Strategic Planning Director. Tip 1. Mention a few significant experiences you have had in this field. Tip 2. Don't forget to highlight your achievements. Sample answer: I have worked as a Strategic Planning Director for a few companies. There is a major need for effective and efficient planners for organizations to take their first step forth. Companies must start valuing this need and see this person as an asset. My previous experiences were all smooth, but I had to struggle to prove myself as an asset to the company. I would say I enjoyed my journey so far as a Strategic Planning Director. 7. What strategies and mindset is required for this role? Explain with examples. Tip 1. Give examples of strategies you implemented in your previous experience. Tip 2. think about what mindset led you to a successful career in this role. Sample answer: I believe being managed and having an insight into the future is of high importance for anyone who handles an organization's strategic planning. One has to have a clear vision, create missions, set goals, develop strategies, and outline and track the team's progress. A mindset of being in the management role is highly important here. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this job? Tip 1. Describe what has challenged you in this role. Tip 2. Talk about challenges as something you feel motivated by. Sample answer: I believe that my motivation comes from the challenges I face. I foresee that I will have to handle different perspectives of the organization. The challenges I expect include difficulty in letting people believe in the planning and then planning to fail. I am all set to fill in a strategic planning director's role and take on the responsibilities that come with it. 9. How do you stay motivated at work? Tip 1. The interviewer wants to know about your emotional stability. Tip 2. Describe how you motivate yourself at work. Sample answer: I am motivated by my achievements. Difficult times in this role become an asset that I can take advantage of in the future. I see my previous experiences as something I can benefit from forever. Many times, I had to face many challenging roles, and winning those situations is something I always remember, and I focus on the drive I had at that time. 10. Describe a time you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. Tip 1. Show how strong you are in your emotional handling of things. Tip 2. Be clear about and accepting of your errors and failed attempts. Sample answer: I once worked with a team that wasn't very cooperative, and I could see that they didn't want to have someone planning for them. It was one heck of a hurdle, but I had to manage nonetheless. Because they didn't seem too receptive of my management style, I let them make their own choices. It proved to be my fault in the end, and I later learned that this role demands me to be more assertive and report to higher authorities when needed. 11. Share the effective strategies you use to help organizations determine their position in the market. Tip 1. Show your strengths and objectives to excel in this role. Tip 2. Describe a time when you helped a company grow in the market. Sample answer: market positioning is a highly important factor that requires you to be always there and ready. The ability to be able to influence customer perception about the company demands great attention from my side. I helped a company develop its brand identity in the market. I used strategies that involved information such as who we are, what we are offering, and what we value. These elements helped me make a strong strategy to build market positioning. 12. Describe a time when you thought outside of the box to help your employer. Tip 1. Describe the level of enthusiasm and creativity you have for this role. Tip 2. Show your strengths in creative thinking. Sample answer: being in this role, I was used to keeping an eye on the market and knew that the information I was gathering would help the company and benefit me in my role. I suggested that my boss try using the marketing strategies that a competitor company was using. They weren't sure of what strategy I was talking about. I detailed the outline of the strategy and proved to them that it would work better for us than it was working for the competitor. They implemented my strategy, and we boosted our profits. 13. Describe a time when your advice to management led to an improvement in your company or otherwise helped your employer. Tip 1. Show that you have an eye on the management sector while keeping other teams in your sights. Tip 2. Describe a time when your suggestion helped distinguish you from the others. Sample answer: my work and my passion lie in the same field for which I am applying here. There were many ideas that I could give, but I kept them to myself until the right time. Once I saw that the management team could adapt my strategy to achieve their goals as the client demanded, I shared my suggestions. The company followed my recommendations and that boosted us with great success. 14. How did you handle a difficult team member in the past? Tip 1. Show your ability to interact with others. Tip 2. Reveal your strengths in working with difficult people. Sample answer: I was always in a position where I had to deal with people of all natures and personalities. Being in this role, I was often faced with team members who wouldn't cooperate. To deal with this, I used psychology to get things done. I challenged them and boosted their confidence, so that they could use their potential to the maximum. 15. Relate a time when you successfully shared difficult information with the team. Tip 1. Show how you react to difficult situations. Tip 2. Explain your ability to go through stressful times smoothly. Sample answer: I had to share that planning had gone wrong in the company. I was responsible for all of it, and had to take responsibility to show my professionalism. I shared the difficult information about the company suffering a loss because of me. With that, I presented what could be done to get the company out of the situation. I provided the solution and showed that I am professional enough to take responsibility for my actions. 16. How do you organize, plan, and prioritize your work? Tip 1. The interviewer wants to see how you work. Tip 2. Show your skills for this role. Sample answer: this role requires me to be great at planning and organizing events, and making important decisions. I am always looking ahead to keep everything planned perfectly. I start by seeing what needs to be done at the first opportunity. I plan according to the priority, and then I plan things by breaking down the tasks and allocating resources accordingly. I also keep a contingency plan to keep things in control when they go wrong. 17. How did you achieve long-range objectives, and what were they? Tip 1. State your abilities and strengths for being proactive in planning. Tip 2. Talk about how you plan and accomplish your goals. Sample answer: I know this job demands me to have the ability to set long-range objectives, and I am always driven towards doing it well. A few of my previous long-range objectives included helping the company reach its maximum revenue generation by the end of the year, to put the team in a state of mindful coherence, and resolve conflicts to bring more professionalism. These goals required that I use most of my skills, but I managed them because of my intuitive knowledge and the market, and behavioral analysis I had mastered. 18. Have you ever applied a new technology or information in your previous role? Did it help? Tip 1. Share your innovative mind and ideas for future advancements. Tip 2. Show how dedicated you are to help the companies achieve the most as things change. Sample answer: I am someone who believes in the use of technology and information for the better good of the company I work for. I have used planning and management software in the past and set up the company to use them too. I believe technology has so much strength and possibility that we don't even know about all of it yet. We should use technology and new information and then derive the best results from it. 19. Describe a time when you analyzed information, evaluated results, and showed the best solution to a problem. Tip 1. The interviewer wants to know how good you are at problem solving. Tip 2. Show your analytical and problem-solving skills. Sample answer: at one time, I saw that the company was going into loss only because they weren't performing the right market analysis and weren't learning from the errors they made in the past. I saw this as a big problem and shared my thoughts about the issue. I showed them the way out and devised a plan that would help them be in profit soon after. 20. Why do you think analyzing data and information is a strength? Tip 1. The interviewer wants to see if you are an analyzer. Tip 2. Talk about how important it is for companies to have insight into analyzing data. Sample answer: I think a company has a great opportunity to succeed if it starts analyzing data for improvement. Happenings of the past can predict a lot about the future, and we can eradicate many errors by using this data to avoid making the same mistakes in the future. Conclusion: the employer is simply looking for a candidate with relevant knowledge and skills. Studying and practicing these strategic planning director interview questions and answers will help you to demonstrate that you are the best candidate.